Now, like we always do at this time, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up with some headlines. First things first. There are certain patriots who have declined going to the White House because Donald Trump. I'll tell you my initial reaction on this shit. I don't give a fuck. And the reason why I don't give a fuck is because you can do whatever you want. You don't have to go see the president. I'm not going to be upset about it. Fuck it, don't go. Quite frankly, I think it's a stupid ass tradition anyway. Football has nothing to do with politics. I mean, it's great that you get to meet the president. And then if the president wanted to invite the football team, the basketball team, the baseball team, whatever it is, if he wants to invite them, then cool. But if he doesn't invite them, I'm cool with that shit too. It has nothing to do with politics. So I don't care. And I don't want to hear you motherfuckers saying when Barack Obama was in office, you didn't see anyone doing that. Yes, you did. Yeah, motherfuckers that didn't want to go to the White House to meet Barack Obama because they didn't believe in his politics. I think it was one of the fellas from Green Bay. He didn't believe in his politics, so he didn't go. That's cool. I also don't want to hear anyone saying that, they should be ashamed of themselves. I also don't want to hear you applauding. If you were pissed off that there were certain players that didn't want to go to the White House to meet Obama and you were good with that, or you were pissed off about that, then you should be pissed off that these players don't want to go meet this president. If you feel like everyone should go meet the president, regardless of who the president is, then you should be pissed off. If you think that it doesn't matter or that you can play your politics, then you still shouldn't be pissed off. You should go, hey, well, that's what that guy thinks, man. He doesn't like this guy. I dig it. If somebody didn't want to go see Obama, I would have said, cool, don't go see Obama. This guy doesn't want to see Trump. Fuck it, cool, don't go see Trump. I'm good with that. You don't have to go see the president that I voted for. So I kind of think that it's entirely up to the person. If half the team doesn't go, half the team doesn't fucking go. Who cares? How does this affect anything? I don't give a shit. I'm thinking about other things regarding politics, okay? I'm thinking about Russia. I'm thinking about the ban on the Muslim countries. I'm thinking about Dodd-Frank and how that's going to be affected. I'm thinking about the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. I don't give a shit if Dante Hightower doesn't want to meet Trump. I don't give a fuck about that. The next one, we have Adele dedicating her Grammy to Beyonce. For me, I don't know. I think that if I were in that field, again, these awards are something else that I don't care a lot about because it doesn't affect how much I enjoy the music I enjoy. And I don't exactly know what the criteria is for how they select the winner. So it's hard for me to say. And then when it comes to this issue specifically, the Adele album and the Beyonce album, I didn't listen to either of those albums because that's not my music. That music isn't for me. I appreciate people being able to sing. And me saying that it's not for me, I didn't buy and or listen to that shit, does not mean I think it's bad. Adele can sing her ass off. Beyonce's definitely in the top 5 talented people on the planet. I am with it. But I just didn't listen to it because I don't think it was for me. That's not my kind of music. I like underground hip hop. I like jazz. Okay, and I like some country music. That's what I'm into. And I'm into 90s R&B. I can dig that shit too. Because I last episode, I sung for you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I sung that my shit. I made it happen. But, so I'm not going to pretend to be qualified to say whether or not Lemonade should have won over, I think it was 25. I think that was the name of this last album. So I don't know. But I know that you're going to have people that are fans of Adele saying, hell yeah, Adele should have won, and people that are fans of Beyonce saying Beyonce should have won. Now, how is this criteria broken down? I don't know. But if it's based on lyrical content, because it's not, it has nothing to do with performance, because it's not even a fucking contest who performs better, Adele or Beyonce, which show I would rather go see. While I think Adele may have more of a powerful voice than Beyonce, maybe, she is a better singer in that regard, I don't think that makes her an overall better artist. So the way they break that down is going to be different from how I'm consuming each one of their music and how I am personally grading their appeal. Because if I like someone that can dance and move around and give me a show and get me to dance and move around, then I would go with Beyonce. But if I'm going off of how well was it sung, what was the content of the music, how well did it resonate with the overall audience? Because I know you all want to love it, but if he fucked me good, I'll take him to Red Lobster. Those aren't exactly insightful lyrics. And I don't know how much of Lemonade was that. But whatever it was, they felt that Adele was better. And as someone that lost, I don't want the person that wins to go up there saying I should have won. I feel like that's pity. I didn't win. And her saying, what the fuck does Beyonce have to do to win? I don't know. The only answer is make a better album. It's a creative field. It's subjective. There are people that are going to feel like this shit was good and this shit was better. You losing doesn't say your shit was bad. You losing saying your shit wasn't as good as this shit. And then me as a person winning, I'm not going to say anybody's shit was better than mine. I might say, hey, man, I'm happy as hell that I won this shit because there were some great albums out there. I was bumping this shit out of Lemonade. That shit was awesome. Or I was bumping this shit out of this. I was bumping this shit. I hated it when Macklemore did it with Kendrick. Why are you apologizing for making what was accepted as good music? And the best music for that category. Why would you apologize over that shit? That shit is crazy. We got to get out of that shit. Just fuck it. You won. That person got to go back and make another album. They lost. It's not discrimination it's not any discrimination other than they discriminated against one body of work against another. And they decided this body of work was better. So, we don't have to act as though there's some mass conspiracy. I think it's pretty much in hand that everyone loves Beyonce. I think that's pretty damn well established. So I don't think they had it out for Beyonce or that they didn't want her to win for any particular reason. I just think, they thought Adele's shit rocked harder. That's it. We got to be willing to take L's, everyone. This shit of somebody loses and we must do something about it is bullshit. We just got to be willing to take L's. We don't have to live in this weird world that says everybody wins or everyone needs to everyone needs to win. So I'll win this year, you'll win next year, I'll win this year, you'll win next year, and just kind of hands it out. Then what do we need a fucking award show for? All you got to do is stay in the top 4 artists each year and you'll know, if I don't win this year, I'll get it next year. So I didn't like it. And if I was Beyonce, I would have said something. I would have said, hey, look, man, nobody get their ass up there again and speak for me. Nobody. Our next story. Speaking of the Grammys, Chance the Rapper won big, and I got to give it up to him. He gives his music away for free. I enjoy his music. I'm happy he's doing well. But it just goes to show, and this is something else that I say all the time. that if you have good material, good music, or good art, or good independent movies, whatever it is, that will be recognized. If your shit isn't moving, then you really need to look at yourself and say, maybe I'm not putting forth the best material. If my shit isn't catching on, if my shit isn't going viral, if my shit doesn't have X amount of views, my shit isn't very good. I say the same thing about this podcast. If I looked every week at the number of downloads on this podcast and they're either going down or not moving at all, I need to make some fucking changes. If I want this podcast to blow up, I gotta fucking do something about it. If it's not moving at a pace that I think is in line with my goals, then I need to do something about it. And Chance the Rapper is doing that. So big up to Chance for his Grammy wins. I'm happy he was able to make that happen. And, there are plenty of you out there that can do it also. So let's get one more in here. I just want to do one more. Yeah, we're pushing the clock here. Let me get one more. With this one, we're going to go with an article that was sent out, and it was, do voter identification laws suppress minority voting? Yes, we did the research, Washington Post. I read this, and I'm going to be honest. I normally keep my mind open to things, and when I have conversations with people or I'm reading an article or a book or anything, I'm reading it because I'm hoping that it will open up my mind to new things and allow me to consider new ideas, right? Or take on new perspectives that I hadn't considered or that I hadn't approached it from. One of the things that I have almost no budge with is the idea that presenting an ID to vote suppresses voting. I know they said that they did the research, but I'm calling bullshit on it. And this, because what you're telling me is that minorities, if you're telling me that minorities don't all have IDs, then that's one thing. If you're telling me they can't get IDs, that's another. Right? Because you're saying they don't have it just means they haven't went and fucking gotten one. And I don't know how you function without a fucking ID. I have no fucking idea. Because you can't go to the store and buy. And not saying that if you have an ID, that's all you're using it for. But we know you can't go to the store and buy certain things. Shit, you can't buy NyQuil, I don't think. I was buying some cough medicine and they ID'd me for it. So you can't even buy fucking cough medicine, let alone some beer, some wine, or some liquor, or cigarettes. So you can't buy it with any of that shit. You can't get a job without an ID because they check that shit. Sure as shit can't drive a car. So what I'm confused about is who the fuck doesn't have an ID? Like, I'm telling you right now, anytime I do this, I always think to myself, do I know anybody without a fucking ID? I don't know one human being without an ID. Now that's all right, because I don't know everyone in the world. But I just know everyone in my world has a fucking ID. From the person I know with the most money to the person I know with the least amount of money. Every one of them motherfuckers have an ID. You can't be employed without it. How the hell don't you have an ID? There's a DMV everywhere. So then, to me, what that spells out is just saying minorities are either too goddamn stupid to get an ID or too goddamn lazy. So which one are you willing to accept? I'm not accepting any of that shit. Again, this is one of those things that I think that we as a people should be totally fucking offended by. Because we're saying that minorities are incapable of doing something as simple as getting a fucking ID. If we're saying that as minorities we can't, I don't want anybody fucking voting that can't get their shit together enough to make it to the goddamn DMV to get a fucking ID. IDs at most, and well, what if they can't afford it? IDs are $10. Shit costs $10. You can get $10. You can get $10. In some places, I think they're free. But I think they're like $10 for an ID. In most states. Y'all aren't fucking offended by this shit? You think it's wrong to be able to have to present an ID to vote, to make sure that your vote, that it's you that's coming to vote? And that's it? That's wrong? Why is that wrong? That's fucking weird. Why is that wrong? If your answer is that because it disproportionately affects minorities, then why the fuck can't minorities get IDs? Are they going to the DMV and they tell them, get the fuck out of here, you can't get one? I'm confused. I'm just so fucking confused. And I'm more confused by people that are upset by it. Like, I feel like people should look at this and go, why the fuck don't brothers have IDs? That's fucking weird. Why don't you have an ID? And if he comes up with some cockamamie excuse, well, fuck him then. Fuck him.